Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Make America Civil Again. Before anything else, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment below. Tell us what you think. I'll be chatting with 4 different African Americans this month in February, talking about different issues about racism and other issues that might surround African Americans. But today I have my friend Lisa, and we're going to be talking about her background and her history and where she stands here in America as a young African American woman. So Lisa, before anything else, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm a mom. I have 6 kids. I have 4 girls and 2 boys. I just had a newborn baby, Roman. Let's see what else. I'm a teacher here in Las Vegas. I really like working with kids. Outside of work, I'm a Barbie collector, so I have hundreds of Barbies. I have a Dollstagram on Instagram, and I take pictures of Barbies, and sometimes I design clothes. I design clothes for the Barbies. I make like dioramas for them. I do role play, and they have their own little lives and stuff. So that's me.
What's your Instagram handle for that?
It's I'm so perfect. So I am SEW perfect.
First thing is, where did you grow up here in the United States?
So I was born in Texas.
Okay.
I was born into a military family. Both of my parents were in the military, and I ended up growing up in Waco, Texas.
Okay, Waco.
So I stayed there until I was around 8, and then we moved to California. My dad got a job at United Airlines, and so we moved to California.
Oh, wow.
And then so I grew up in Sacramento. We started in West Sacramento, and then we moved to Sacramento. And I stayed there until I was 28, and I got married, and I moved to the Bay Area, and I got divorced, and so I moved to Las Vegas.
Oh, wow. So you jumped around a little bit. Not too much.
But enough.
But enough.
Yes,
okay.
I had a few restarts.
Okay. Do you remember anything about growing up in Texas specifically?
Yes, I do. Like, Texas is just so wholesome and slow, and everyone's just so nice. Well, where I'm from, and it was just like this family feeling, family type community.
Was it predominantly African American, or was there a good mixture of the races down there in Waco?
It was a good mixture, because where we lived in Waco, we lived on this campus, TSTI. So my dad was going to school at the time, and families could also live there at the school. So it was all different races. Like it wasn't just blacks or whites. Like it was all mixed.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So since you grew up in a town where there was like a multiplicity of different cultures and races, do you think that affects now how you see people? Like you really don't care as much, or do you still like see like, well, that person white?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It does. It affects how I see people, because I believe it starts young with like your mindset and your perspective on life. And because there wasn't any, oh, we live in the black part of town, or oh, we got to go to the white part of town to do this. Like because it was mixed, like that was normal. Like that's how life is. Like that's how I believe life should be. Yeah. Race wasn't an issue. Everyone was just going to school to be successful. The parents were, and the kids, we were just being kids. So no one had time to deal with being black or white, or like I remember my dad's friend Chris and his wife, Sun Young. Like she was Korean, he was white. The kids were mixed. We would play G.I. Joes together. It wasn't, and this was like in the 80s. Like so, it was like okay, whatever. Yeah, but my dad had all different color friends and or nationalities, and so it wasn't an issue. Like it wasn't.
Yeah.
Okay. That was our normal.
You moved to Sacramento when you were how old?
I was 8.
Okay. So you moved when you were 8 years old?
Yes.
And then, what was that like, living in California?
It was so much fun. So before we moved to California, because we knew we were moving, and so we were like, okay, how do Californians talk? Like, we gotta get ready. So I had super thick accent, said y'all all the time. It was ridiculous. We went to California just on a 2-week vacation. That's what they told us. We were going on vacation, but we knew we were going to move. But that wasn't the moving time. So we get there, and we're there. 2 weeks turns into 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever. And then finally, it's like my parents, they decide they're getting divorced. Yeah. So I stayed with my dad, and then my sister, she went with her mom, because we weren't, like, they had raised us together as babies, so we didn't know that like we weren't related. We didn't know that we were stepsisters. So I'm all pumped and excited for the first day of school. It's my first time going to school by myself. because I've never, I've always been with her. So and in West Sacramento, it was like mixed, like it was Mexicans and Asians and whites and stuff like that. And I remember I get on the bus, the school bus, and the kids were just like calling me names, like they were just like calling me all these different names and stuff. And I was like my first day of school, and it's like, oh. So I went home, and I didn't tell my teacher because like I didn't know how to deal with it. That had never happened to me. This is like so weird. I didn't. That had never happened to me, but they were calling me names and stuff. So I come home, and my grandma was like, "How was your first day of school?" And I was like, "It was terrible." And she was like, "What happened?" And I was like, "They're calling me names. They're calling me nigger. Like, I don't want to go back to school." And she was like, "Well, you know, we're going to take care of it. Don't worry about it." So I was like, okay. So my dad, he worked in Oakland for United Airlines, so he would commute. So he got home that night, and he was like, "How was your first day?" And it was like maybe 1:30 in the morning. And I told him what happened, and he was like, "Well, why did that bother you?" Like, he was like, what was the worst? And I was like, "They kept calling me a nigger." And he was like, "Why did that bother you?" And I was like, looking at him like you should know why it bothered me, right? And he was like, "No. Like, you're not a nigger." And I was like, okay, like, you know, because my understanding of just like watching TV, watching movies, stuff like that, like, that's what you call black people. So he goes and he gets the dictionary and he pulls it out and he was like, "Read it." And I read it and he was like, "Are you ignorant?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Then you're not a nigger." And I was like, "Okay." And he was like, "So that shouldn't, like, you shouldn't be hurt by that. Like, people are going to say mean things to you, but you don't. That doesn't mean that's who you are." So I was like, okay. So he was like, "And you're going to school tomorrow?" And I was like, "All right, okay, I'm going to school." My dad told me I was going to school. My grandma, she was like, "I'm not taking you to the regular bus stop. We're going to go to the other bus stop." So we go to the other bus stop, and I'm just like, what's the point? I still got to get on the bus. Like, who cares? So I get on the bus, and I'm like, okay, hold my head up. My grandma's watching me, like, and I'm like, here we go. They're gonna call me names. The whole bus is quiet. I go, I sit down. I turn around, like, oh, like I made it. My grandma's standing there with a switch. So everybody was quiet because she was like, no, like, I want y'all to call her names. By the time I got to school, by the time the bus got to school, my dad and my grandma were there, and they had a meeting with the principal, and that was it. Like, that was the end of it. And that, you know, I went to elementary school, I went to middle school, and I didn't have any other issues after that. But then, when my dad bought a house and we moved into Sacramento, to South Sacramento, and I went to black school with like mostly black kids, then it was like the opposite effect, because I didn't act black enough, because I didn't fall into the stereotypes of like what like people think black people, how they're supposed to be. Then I was like basically like ostracized. Like, it was hard for me to make friends and stuff, because it's like I didn't want to do that. Like, I was like, that's stupid. Like, it's not funny. Why do you guys act like that? Why do you talk like that? Like, you can just talk regular. Like, use correct grammar. What are you doing? And I didn't think that was cool. Like, I didn't feel like it was anything to be proud of. And because of that, then it wasn't crazy, but I just like ate lunch by myself a lot. So the experiences I have with black people are more bothersome to me than experiences I have with other races or nationalities, because I feel like we fight so hard, like, to be accepted, like, you know, and then it's like we want to be accepted because we're different, but then here comes someone who's black, who's different from you, but there's no acceptance. And it's like, so how do you expect to like, and I know like I'm just one person, like it's not about me, but it's like, how do you expect to like evolve as a culture when it's like you are shunned for like the way you dress or all this other things, but then it's like, because I'm not like you, then I don't get to participate. Like,
have you ever experienced racism again, ever since like you have when you're like that little kid in the bus?
Yes. So, but the crazy thing is, where I experienced it, you would never think that it would happen. So my brother, he comes out, he moves out to California with his wife. His wife ends up getting a job at a military base because he was in the military. She got a job at a military base, and she calls me and she's like, Lisa, there's this man at my job living in an RV with all this money, and he needs a wife so he can travel to Korea because he has kids. He's a single parent. And I was like, well, what's his phone number? You know, like, what do I need to do? So I ended up marrying him. We dated for like 69 days, and my brother, who grew up in North Carolina, like, he was like, no, Lisa, no, don't marry this man. This man's a racist. And I was like, no, I don't think he is. I felt like my family had more of an issue with me being in an interracial relationship, and I was like, no, like, it's okay. Like, he just talks different. Like, he had a twin. He was from Alabama. It was the worst 4 years of my life. Like, when I say racist, like, this man was like racist. I mean, I understand that I married him because I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. I didn't want to work. Like, yeah, good. You know, there's plenty of marriages set up like that. But this man was like, he was a monster. He was just a mess, like a terrible person. And he was just really racist. Like, he was just so racist. Like, and when we first met, I remember I was getting him dressed, and he was like, those thighs are gonna make me a tailback. And I was like, what? And he was like, yep, we're gonna have babies, and they're gonna all be football players. And I was like, oh, okay, like, being naive, like, oh, he's thinking about our future. No, like, he was thinking about, like, breeding. Like, because I guess his son played football, and he would always break his bones and stuff. And he was like, well, his mom is white, so I want to, like, have an interracial son so he can be strong. Well, that's no different than back in the slavery days when they were breeding bigger and better slaves. I haven't been exposed to that type of racism. So, like, when your dad was like, what's going on right now is nothing. Like, back in the day, it was bad. Well, I was married to someone who had, like, it seemed like they had morphed from
back in the day
1890. And that was my husband. And it was crazy. Like, I remember one time, me and my daughter came home from the mall, and he opens the door of the car, and he goes, y'all been eating chicken? And I was like, what? Like, who said that? We could have eaten anything, but that was, like, the normal, like, conversation, interaction, just super rude. But now, instead of, you know, but I have to tell myself, like, he was just a bad person too. Like, you have to be, in order, like, his level of, like, hatred that he has, like, he's just a bad person. Yeah. So I didn't let that deter me and be like, oh, like, all white people are this way. Like, you know, I didn't let that affect me. It didn't change my mindset because, like, even though he was using, like, racism to, like, hurt me and hurt my kids and stuff, all people are like that. Yeah. Like, when it comes to just who you are and your self-esteem and just your perspective on life, it's like you have to believe the things that you're being told. So if you don't believe it, then it doesn't matter. So when my dad was like, are you this person? Are you an ignorant person? As I said, an ignorant person, is that you? And I was like, no.
What would you say to someone who has that victim mindset?
They need to stop. They need to let it go. Like, take it to the altar. Like, you need to let it go, because it's like, I feel like people who are victims, they feel like they have, and that there's these entitlements that they're supposed to have. And they also feel like someone else is supposed to remedy whatever happened to them. If something happened to you, like, how do you know it's about you? How do you know that they're not the ignorant person? How do you know that they weren't raised in a good home? How do you know that they're not hurting and that's the only way they know how to express themselves? And not saying that when people do mean things or bad things to you or say things to you, but sometimes it's like you have to take yourself out of it and look and see, well, what's their issue? Yeah. It's not my issue. And sometimes it is your issue. Sometimes, for example, if you don't get a job, maybe, like, it's not because of your hair. Maybe you just weren't qualified. Like, what could you have done? Like, why does it always have to be tied to my race, the color of my skin? You know, with my dad, like, he also raised me. He would tell me, I was teasing him because I was like, well, they was eating Big Macs at the White House a few weeks ago, so it must be okay now. But he used to tell me, he would take me to fancy restaurants, he would dress me up, I had like so many velvet dresses, like, and shoes, like just being dressed up. And he would, his girlfriends would be like, "Why are you taking your daughter to the steakhouse?" And he was like, "Because I don't want her to think that a Big Mac and a 40 is okay. Like, that's not okay, right?" Things where it's like people have to look within themselves and be like, okay, like what did I do? Like what can I do to, you know, just to have like a better life, just for things to be good for me, not focusing on what someone else did or what someone is supposed to do for you. Like, we all have the same 24 hours, so it's like you can be whoever and do whatever you want. I really enjoyed the interview with your dad because when he talked about not being a victim, because a lot of it has to do with being a victim and not taking control. And sometimes people don't even want to be in control. They just want to stumble through life.
It's easier that way.
Yeah, and it's like, no, like you have to do, like you have to live for yourself. Like you have to set yourself up for success. And if something doesn't happen, then reassess it. Or if something does, if something bad happened to you or whatever, then it's like, learn from it. Use it to be a better person. Don't just sulk. And don't just suffer. Because they're not thinking about it. So in the African American community, there's no dad. Like, the government hasn't replaced them with anything. Like, it's just that empty void. There's no value in the family and what family is. So then you have these men that are being raised by single women that are like teenagers, and they don't know what a strong male role is because they didn't have it in their house. So then they can't hold their sons accountable, and it's just like a constant cycle.
So thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
That was really good. Seriously, that was good. But thank you for tuning in. And I know you liked her story. If you didn't, you're an idiot. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Make America Civil again. Remember, this is the first of 4 installments of talking to African Americans as their experience in the United States of America. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And please share on Facebook. If you would like to see a topic discussed on this channel, you can email me at civilizeamerica@gmail.com, or you can just leave a comment underneath this video. But until next week, see you later. Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you.